One Zambia, one nation. Hello and welcome to the news. I am your presenter, Henry Himonde. A look at the top stories in our news. 5 cholera deaths reported as cases rise. Maternal deaths on the rise in northwestern province. Zambia Development Agency records increase in investments. And supply of essential drugs in health facilities in Eastern Province improves. The news in detail: 5 people have died of cholera across the country in the last 24 hours, among them a 1-year-old baby of Matero Township in Lusaka. Minister of Health Sylvia Masebo, who announced this at a joint press briefing with her counterparts from local government and rural development, Gary Nkombo, and water and sanitation, Mike Mposha, also disclosed that 111 new cases have been recorded. Ms. Masebo has explained that Kanyama and Matero have recorded the highest number of infections. Bopesendwe now reports.
The outbreak of cholera has continued to threaten the health security in the country. New cases and deaths are on the rise, with the country recording 111 infections and 5 deaths in the last 24 hours countrywide. In light of the growing magnitude of the outbreak, government is implementing heightened measures to mitigate the disease.
Sad to inform you that in the last 24 hours, we've recorded 111 new cases across the country. And across the country, we have so far lost 5 patients. In terms of the total number of people who have died since January 2023 to date, we have lost 74 lives cumulatively. And mitigation unit, that is the DMMU, has since been activated. It has since played a pivotal role in orchestrating a coordinated and effective response to this cholera outbreak. Serving as the central coordinating body, the DMMU, under the guidance of our Honor the Vice President, has spearheaded high-level technical committee meetings. These bring together key stakeholders from various sectors, ensuring that efforts are synchronized and resources are strategically mobilized and deployed.
As part of a multi-sectoral approach, the Ministry of Water Development and Sanitation has also remained proactive in the fight against the cholera outbreak.
Availability of all pumping units of water treatment plants to ensure continuous and assure reliable water supply to the serviced communities. So in terms of water, to respond to the problem beforehand, in these areas we are setting up water tanks of the capacity of 10,000 liters.
For the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, enforcement of public health regulations will be invoked to ensure sanitation in public places is maintained.
Because there is arbitrary disposal of the remains of street vending, especially of fresh foods, we are going to reinforce the statutory instrument number 18 of 2018 that basically criminalizes the issue of indiscriminate disposal of waste, and also which pronounced vending as a public nuisance.
The general public plays a crucial role in controlling the cholera outbreak by actively participating in preventive measures and adopting responsible hygiene behaviors. Zanis reports in Lusaka.
Vice President Mtalena Lumango has implored bus drivers to form cooperatives in order for them to benefit from the increased Constituency Development Fund (CDF). Ms. Nalumango says funds are meant to improve the livelihoods of all Zambians, including those in the transport sector. She said this in a speech read on on her behalf by Minister of Justice Mlambo Haimbe during the millimillion donation to Kulima Tower Bus Drivers Association in Lusaka. Mrs. Nalmango has hailed the bus drivers for engaging in constructive activities following the restoration of sanity in markets and bus stations by government. Here's a report.
Government has enhanced the Constituency Development Fund. I would like to encourage you to form cooperatives and apply for the funds under your constituency, Lusaka Central. The funds are meant to improve your livelihoods. Therefore, let us prepare bankable project proposals and ensure that they meet the necessary application requirements. It is very encouraging to see the good initiatives that you are implementing. Let us continue to work together as a country, and each and every Zambian has a role to contribute to the development of Zambia.
Lero takwanisa kugula mabags ya unga 1,600 bags.
As you know, cholera is here. It claims a lot of fatalities. I just want to take this opportunity to remind each and every one of us to adhere to correct public hygiene standards.
Luapula Province Public Health Specialist Malon Chunda says early detection of gender-based violence cases in health facilities will help to reduce new HIV infections in the province. Dr. Chunda has noted that GBV remains a barrier to the HIV epidemic control as the country works towards achieving the United Nations HIV goals of reaching 95-95-95. Hence, the need to combat the scourge through the identification of GBV cases. He was speaking during the multidisciplinary management of GBV survivors training workshop organized by the Zambia Center for Communication Programs, Kwatu in Mansa District. Here's a report.
Various stakeholders in Luapula Province have been trained on how to handle gender-based violence GBV survivors using a multidisciplinary approach. The training workshop has been organized by the Zambia Center for Communication Programs, ZCCP, Kwatu, under the United States Agency for International Development, USAID Stop GBV Now project. Dr. Malon Chunda from the Luapula Province Health Office officially opened the training at Teja Lodge in Mansa.
Reports of victims being physically, sexually, economically, and emotionally abused are received daily in our various health institutions. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you may be aware, the Ministry of Health and other key government ministries in here are among the first responders to victims of gender-based violence, and our quick response would prevent and reduce the barriers to the epidemic control, 95, such as prevention of new HIV transmissions through the provision of post-exposure prophylaxis and increase on HIV testing services, pre-exposure prophylaxis, and treatment adherence through elimination of harmful gender norms.
Agnes Mwanza is the CCP Kwatu Technical Advisor Clinical.
This training then will complement government efforts in tracking gender-based violence cases from all health facilities using indicators that were included in the Health Management Information System, where the USAID Stop GBV, our previous project, also supported the Ministry of Health in the development and inclusion of these gender-based violence indicators in the Health Management Information System. Secondly, the training will also provide capacity building for health workers, healthcare providers to manage survivors in a sensitive or inclusive and collaborated way through a multi-sectoral approach. As you have seen that the police are here, NPA is here, and also community development and social services.
For ZCCP, Kwatu and its partners, Women in Law and Development Africa Zambia, Lifeline Childline Zambia, Viamo, and FHI 360, the fight against GBV is a resolve. For Zanis TV, Godfrey Chikumbi reporting in Man.
Meanwhile, Eastern Province has recorded significant improvements in essential drugs availability that is currently standing between 80 to 90%. Eastern Province Health Director Matthews Ngambi has attributed the score to interventions such as the prioritization of drug supply under the Presidential Delivery Unit. More in the following report.
The health sector is one of the areas captured under the Presidential Delivery Unit, a branch-out of President Hakainde Hichilema to fast-track service delivery. One of the two areas captured under health is improving drug supplies by increasing national essential drug availability from 35% to 70% of the population by 2026. And so far, Eastern Province is performing well.
I think as a country in the last 2 years or so, we were hovering at around 35% of drug commodities in our facilities. Drastically improve this. I think the challenge to us is to improve this to acceptable WHO standards. We should be over 70-75% of essential commodities available in our facilities. Provincial level, ourselves, all our districts are actually above that threshold. As we speak, most of our facilities are reporting drug availability of about 80, 85, even up to 90% of essential commodities are in our facilities.
The Ministry of Health has appreciated the formation of the unit that is closely working with some of its staff.
Working through that structure, particularly the Presidential Delivery Unit, what we have seen is State House really advising us on areas that we should be focusing on to improve the welfare of our people.
Yes, we have dealt with the cities and Lusaka, Meni and the like, but now we're also looking at how best we help the places outside our mainstream spaces. These are rural areas, the community radio stations, and correspondents that are actually in far-flung areas. I hope that we are going to see an improvement in terms of reporting, because you've got a source, then at the same time, where there's need in terms of capacity, definitely that will be done. The minister also is very passionate about that. Almost on a daily basis, we have a media engagement.
To attain its goal on drug availability, government is implementing various interventions, among them encouraging local pharmaceutical manufacturing. Abigail Kashweka, Zanis, in Chipata District.
The construction of Chief Mkutuma's Palace in Lufanyama District on the Copperbelt Province at a cost of 3.9 million kwacha is set to commence soon. This follows the handover of the site for the construction of a modern palace to the contractor, the Zambia Correctional Service, by Lufanyama District Commissioner Justin Mwalikwa. More in the following report.
In few days to come, this place will be a busy construction site for Chief Mkutuma's Palace here in Lufanyama District. Government officials are already here to hand over the site to the Zambia Correction Service, which has been contracted to execute this 8 months project.
This site has been given to you today, and there is a time frame attached to it. So from 1st January up to September 30. So, and I'm aware that down payment has already been done, so there will be no excuse.
Come January, we have to mobilize ourselves in, other payments have already been paid for us to start the program.
The fulfillment of government's promise has elected many local leaders.
So that
So as Lufanyama leadership, we are really excited over this project, and we hope our men in uniform will deliver in time.
To make sure that we deliver according to what our president has directed us to do under the DC's office. So we are going to work together.
If successfully executed, Chief Mkutuma will be the second traditional leader to benefit from the modern palaces being constructed by government in Lufanyama district. Reporting, I'm Agrippa Silumbwe.
Mushindamo District Commissioner Andrew Kalangwa has appealed to the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources to help in converting customary land to state land for the establishment of a central business district. Mr. Kalangwa says the district has lagged behind in terms of development because of the non-establishment of a CBD since its establishment in 2016. Kalan Mchima now reports.
Since its establishment as a district in 2016, Mushindamo in the northwestern province has remained undeveloped, primarily because the district has not yet resolved issues surrounding where the central business district will be situated. Mushindamo District Commissioner Andrew Kalangwa attributes this situation to various interest groups pulling in different directions. He, however, says out of the 3 points the district had for the CBD, the district administration has settled for one, which is centrally located, hence asking the Minister of Lands to help in the conversion from customary to state land.
We have the money. Government has given us a lot of money. And this money we have, if we really had a chance to start utilizing it, we would have everything in place. If you can see, we put up a police station, which is very nice. There is that parliamentary office, which is very nice. This time we would have found the upstairs building for the council, or either for the DC, and the other houses. Just because of this, we are handicapped. We have no authority to start utilizing the money on a land which is not given to us.
In terms of development, there has been that gap. Because you know where there is no CBD, where there is no CBD, it's difficult to have steady development.
Commissioner of Lands Lynn Habanji encourages the district administration to get consent letters from chiefs in whose land is domiciled so as to begin the formalization process.
You just said that you can't start developing on land that is not given to you.
No, the land is given to us by the chief. It's a customary land.
Oh, it's customary
It's
land.
customary
So it's an
land.
issue of conversion.
Yes, it's just a matter of getting it to start doing the work. No, there's no ado about this one. No problem.
Okay, it sounds like it's an open and shut case.
Yes.
If we have consent from the chief, we've got our lands office here, you've got the local authority, the council here. Why have we not moved with regards to the issue of the conversion so that we can make it available?
The district has also asked the Minister of Lands to help in boundary markings between Mushindamo and Lufanyama, as well as Mushindamo Solwezi and Mushindamo Chingola. Currently, Mushindamo district is squatting along the Solwezi Chingola road. Mushindamo district was established alongside Kalumbila district and Senga Hill district. Kalan Mchima reporting for Zanis in Mushindamo.
We now take our first break, and still ahead in the news, maternal deaths increase in northwestern province. Stay tuned.
What is cholera?
Cholera is a diarrheal disease. A person with cholera will have severe diarrhea and vomiting. The stool will be watery, like rice water. The patient will become dehydrated due to loss of body fluids. The patient may die within 12 hours if he or she does not get proper medical treatment.
How can one get cholera?
Drinking untreated or contaminated water. Eating foods with contaminated, dirty hands, or using utensils washed with untreated water. Eating uncovered foods that has been exposed to flies. Eating cold or leftover foods that have not been properly stored. Eating food sold on the streets. Eating fruits and vegetables that have not been washed.
How can we prevent cholera?
Treat your drinking water by boiling or using chlorine. Do not eat foods from the streets. Wash your hands with soap and treated water after using the toilet. Heat food before eating it. Cover all food to keep away flies. Use the toilet always. Avoid using containers or plastic bags for the disposal of fecal matter. Make sure all feces are disposed of in the toilet. Keep the toilet clean and covered.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in conjunction with the Zambian National Public Health Institute.
We continue with the news. The number of women dying during childbirth in northwestern province has kept increasing, with the latest deaths standing at 57. This was recorded from January 2023 to December 2023. Northwestern Province consultant obstetrician and gynecologist Paul Mwemba has attributed the causes of death to overbleeding during labor. Meanwhile, Provincial Permanent Secretary Grandson Katambi and the Northwestern Council of Chiefs Chairperson Chief Mena have expressed sadness over the development. Some women in Chama district of Eastern Province have praised government for introducing different programs under the Constituency Development Fund CDF, which are improving the living standards of the people. Some members of the Campeteo Women's Club have cited CDF empowerment funds targeting women and youths that have transformed lives of the underprivileged in communities. Meanwhile, the Chama Local Contractors Association has noted CDF projects are creating employment for the locals.
They say poverty bears the face of a woman, but the members of Campetor Women's Club in Chama District have refused to accept this notion by taking advantage of the opportunities under the Constituency Development Fund by venturing into a piggery project.
CDF batinojera makola batipokelela umabakatipira tasanga mochandulo chiwemi olo umobetipira ba CDF na ndama mwakatipasira ikakwananga kuti 15 pini so mwakatipira tazengamo vibaya tagulamo nkumba iyakhala tambako kusebezesya tuponyerana.
Richard Mnyenyembe of Chama District is a shining example of how CDF is transforming lives of individuals. He received 200,000 kwacha under CDF loan empowerment to boost his business.
Ni gwako muno ma groceries ni nawe muno groceries ni chitako benefit no nandama ka profit anyake ni ambako zengako na tuntu nyake ngonga chomene bomali kutipasa ndalamazi kuno kwa chama.
Association of the Local Contractors in Chama District now feel they are part and parcel of the massive development in the country.
During the past times, we had no such chances. If we were talking about the local contractors, we could even speak for people from Lusaka, Chipata, and these other towns. But as for now, this current government that we are having, we have been empowered from the word, to imagine from the word. A local contractor comes from the word to the constituents, from the constituents to the district, of which is to advantage to our side, that as local contractors.
The Chama Town Council is determined to ensure effective implementation of CDF projects.
Under empowerment grants, the local authority is actually implementing 71 projects, and the total amount under this is about 1.9. Then we have also empowerment loans, not grants, but the loans. The first one was grants, but the loans. Under the loans, we have 28. I'm sure these are a number of people have actually given out loans. Then the total amount on this part is about 2.9.
Loba Simtafela, Zanis, Chama District, Eastern Province.
Ministry of Technology and Science Permanent Secretary Brilliant Hawenzu says government is determined to attain 100% internet connectivity across the country by 2026. Dr. Hawenzu says having internet access for all will improve the efficient delivery of public services to the people. He was speaking in a speech read for him by Minister of Technology and Science Director for Communication Miuna Mukuni during the meeting between the private sector and government meant to explore ways of achieving increased internet accessibility in the country. The Permanent Secretary says government is embracing different forms of technology that will be beneficial towards achieving enhanced internet access for both the rural and urban areas. Meanwhile, on the sidelines of the event, Technology Services Chief Executive Officer Saasa Shamambo has proposed a satellite system that will be domiciled and run by Zambians. We now take our second break. Join us for more news after this.
What is cholera?
Cholera is a diarrheal disease. A person with cholera will have severe diarrhea and vomiting. The stool will be watery, like rice water. The patient will become dehydrated due to loss of body fluids. The patient may die within 12 hours if he or she does not get proper medical treatment.
How can one get cholera?
Drinking untreated or contaminated water, eating foods with contaminated, dirty hands, or using utensils washed with untreated water, eating uncovered foods that has been exposed to flies, eating cold or leftover foods that have not been properly stored, eating food sold on the streets, eating fruits and vegetables that have not been washed.
How can we prevent cholera?
Treat your drinking water by boiling or using chlorine. Do not eat foods from the streets. Wash your hands with soap and treated water after using the toilet. Heat food before eating it. Cover all food to keep away flies. Use the toilet always. Avoid using containers or plastic bags for the disposal of fecal matter. Make sure all feces are disposed of in the toilet. Keep the toilet clean and covered.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in conjunction with the Zambia National Public Health Institute.
The news continues. The Zambia Revenue Authority has donated assorted food items and cleaning materials to the pediatric wards at Solwezi General Hospital. The donation comes as part of the authority's corporate social responsibility. Details in the following report.
It is an exciting moment for the children in Lunga Ward at Solwezi General Hospital as the Zambia Revenue Authority donates assorted items. Zambia Revenue Authority Inspector Taxes says the gesture is part of the corporate social responsibility aimed at giving back to the community.
Here on behalf of the office and the institution to make a donation to the Lunga Medical Ward and the surgical ward. This is specifically for the children. We give back to our community to be able to put a smile on faces in our community even as we do our work.
The hospital management is elated with the development.
On behalf of Solwezi General Hospital and on my own behalf, we are very happy that ZRA this year has seen it fit to make this very kind donation. This donation will definitely go a very long way in improving the stay of the patients here in our ward. So I would also like to implore other institutions to emulate ZRA because government alone is not able to meet all the needs of the patients in the ward.
On behalf of my patients, I'm so happy and I'm so thankful for what you have done. Thank you so much. May God bless you.
Beneficiaries of the donation are happy with the gesture.
Asante hapa kumana bupe bobaleta abo bena kumva byambo byalesa byakumva nabyo bena kupita mu makata jo.
The donated items will go a long way in maintaining a clean and conducive environment for the patients. Mwichech Poya for Zanis, Solwezi District, Northwestern Province.
Now, the Zambia Development Agency, ZDA, has recorded 39.95 billion United States dollars of committed investments in 2023 from 379 projects. ZDA Board Chairperson Biemba Maliti says the 2023 commitment investments have increased by 365% compared to 2022. Professor Maliti told journalists during a press briefing in Lusaka that the manufacturing sector recorded the highest investment worth over 19.7 billion United States dollars, followed by energy with 8.9 billion United States dollars, mining with about 6 billion United States dollars, while the transport sector recorded 1.65 billion United States dollars. Southern Province Regional Mines Officer Dixon Banda has urged mining companies in the province to be climate smart in their operations by ensuring effective management of the environment in which they operate. Mr. Banda says the mining industry is one of the extractive industries that has contributed to climate change and that, if left unchecked, can have a negative impact on the environment. He says government through the Department of Mines would like to see all mining industries in the province adhere to environmental regulations by reclaiming the environment in their mining areas. Details in the following report by Costa Kimdenda.
Sinazongwe is among other districts in southern province rich in minerals. The district is a core belt and has so far seen a number of mining companies in operational. One among such mines is a recently opened up African power coal mine. The coming up of this mine has not only created jobs, but social and economic development to the people of Mulungwa in Chief Mwemba's chiefdom.
Basically, when we started, there was no road. So African Power Co. Limited have been able to build the road for ourselves. I think you have seen from the tarmac road. It's a stretch of approximately 40 kilometers from the road coming up to here. And we have also constructed 2 bridges, those that we have just crossed.
The local people here are elated about this development.
Tupagulumba ujinde jino kumaga na maini Mulungwa maini yaga tupalu gwasyo lwa lodi kamoto gala mapenzi mugwenda wesu olo abapenzi wabamalwazi tulajana myota yagukwera gutola kujibadira jipati.
A lot of our friends, they were not working. There were a lot of our friends that had no experience like working in the mining. So through this mine, we have got the experience, and also we have known how to work in a mining area.
The management at this mine is also mindful of environmental impacts resulting from such operations.
Where the mining activities always takes place, you cut down trees, then you create craters or holes, so we'll not leave them as they are.
Actually, want all these mining companies to adhere to all environmental issues and concern, so that we do not pollute our water bodies, we not dump our materials indiscriminately. All the materials that is coming from the pit must be dumped in a systematic way. We also encourage these mining companies, especially, to do continuous reclamation, so that we don't have to wait up to the end. As they are mining, they should be reclaiming.
Costa Kimdenda, Zanis, in Sinazongwe district, southern province.
On a sad note, hundreds of mourners yesterday braved the rains at Katinta village in Kasenengwa district to witness the burial of a 25-year-old Nyao dancer who died on Christmas Day. Dren Nyirenda is reported to have died while after he inserted his head in a mosquito net string while doing the Gologolo local dance. Mtinta Mwemba has more in the following report.
The 25-year-old Nyao dancer of Kasenengwa district who died as he was practicing on a more than 35 meters pole has been put to rest. According to Eastern Province Police Commanding Officer Limpoliwali, the deceased, identified as Dren Nyirenda, died as he was practicing the famous Gologolo masquerade. The incident is reported to have happened after the Gologolo inserted his head in a loop of a mosquito net string which was tied to a pole whilst dancing. The father to the late is devastated.
Anagonzi kuti avine mwana gole kumana pitadi pamwamba bachitagule wake wonse kusilisira kwenye kwa gule wake ucha mwana anapeseka kuti chingwe anachikoloweka mkosi bati anzake wonse anaona kuti chingwe achikoloweka mkosi bati chane chinasowa palivaza panasowa chikondi chimene inze nacho chifukwa chimtengo chijana chituzika chinamene namonga wayi mwamsanga wana kuti mzawo achitetetiza omutandiza kugwesa chimtengo chija mmene anachizindikira kuti uja ampulumose.
He has since appealed to well-wishers to help him take care of the 3 children left by the deceased.
Nokuthi kwayise kubandla lathu ngikhala ukuthi babikulu kwambili chifukwa bana mwana wamkulu ana 4 years so ababenango nishini bangono babili kwakuthi angakhale yini kholo mwina chizani vuto samali babana yani.
Golo is among various masquerades among the Gole Wamkulu performed by the Chewa people of Eastern Zambia, Malawi and Mozambique. Mutinta Mwemba reporting for Zanis in Kasenengwa District, Eastern Province.
And in Southern Province, the bodies of the 3 children of the Kaunda family that were burnt in a house fire in Gwembe District have been put to rest. Gwembe District Commissioner Kilion Chikandula, who represented government at the funeral, says government is deeply saddened with the death of the young children. More in the following report by Brian Kapuka.
The bodies of the 3 children of the Kaunda family in Gwembe District that were burnt to death on Christmas Eve have been put to rest. The children died after the house they were sleeping in caught fire while their parents went out and locked them inside. Scores of Gwembe residents gathered at Masuku graveyard to pay their last respect to the children aged 3, 7 and 10. Gwembe District Commissioner Kilon Chikandra and Council Chairperson Colette Ndovu gave a message of condolences to the bereaved family.
Condolences to all the mourners.
And to omwe akulindiswa tonse tobaliri.
On behalf of the government,
Atikuyimina atya nhulumende.
I wish to state that
Tibanda kwamba bovu.
We are so sad that our innocent 3 children are no more.
Ati tupakusa ikuti aba bana botatwe ibata wagambo tabajiko.
This has been a shock to the entire country.
Ati eji japakusa kujisi jonse.
The nation is aware that today we are burying.
Sorry. Wina bararimbi ndego ya kubeha winda bararia kuti sorry. Ndiri hima simple kuti we have a team. The officer in charge, the DIO and their teams. Barikwene as a district. I know to say this issue they will investigate it kabotu. Igusigila oyo haga jite ngo tuyanda haga jite na abasirigani bari kuberega igwarira kujata babi. On this one we want to see that haga jite wagambo aga, we want to see him up.
And the police says the case is still under investigation.
Let us take care of our homes. Even this new year which is coming, please let us stay with our families. If you want to go to church for an overnight prayer, please go with your children. They'll go and sleep in the benches. Tambera 9. Don't leave children in the night. Don't. We are watching. We are watching very closely over this one. And we are investigating.
And the father to the children is in police custody. Brian Kapuka reporting for Zanis in Gwembe District, Southern Province.
Very sad development there. And lastly, sports. 2023 has been a packed year for sports federations in the country. Audrey Kalinga reports that among the highlights of the year include the Copper Queens participation at the FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand, the senior netball team being crowned African champion, and Zambia under 18 participating at the Africa Youth Chess Championships in Egypt. The Chipolopolo boys also qualified to the Africa Cup after missing out on 3 editions. Take a look at this report.
The year 2023 has been an eventful year for sports in Zambia, with a number of disciplines registering success stories. Football Association of Zambia FAS Communications Manager Sydney Mungala has described the year as successful, highlighting the Copper Queens' debut at the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup and the Chipolopolo boys qualifying to the Africa Cup.
2023 has been a very action-packed year for the Football Association of Zambia. Obviously, we have seen a lot of successes, but it's also important to acknowledge that it hasn't been all plain sailing. But we would like to focus on the highlights. Remember, this is the year that saw the Copper Queens play at the FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. It was the first time that the women ever qualified for the World Cup, and of course, the first senior team to qualify for any World Cup for Zambia. Looking at the men's game, we also had a good season. Remember, we successfully defended the COSAFA Senior Men's Trophy in South Africa, and we actually also managed to qualify to the Africa Cup for the senior men. We had not qualified to the Africa Cup for the last 3 editions, so returning to the Africa Cup was a moment of pride for us and obviously for all the Zambians.
Chess Federation of Zambia President Leslie Chikuse explains the significance of Zambia's participation at the Africa Youth Chess Championship in Egypt and the experiences gained from the encounter.
We had the Africa Youth Chess Championship. First and foremost, what excites Chess Federation of Zambia is a number of sponsors that came along to sponsor the game of chess. For the first time, we made a historical representation of about 17 players that took part in the Africa Youth Chess Championship, and we also had about 8 parents that escorted their children. So you can see that the parents, the children, we are supporting the game of chess. But we would like also to thank the Ministry of Sport for the unwavering support that they gave to the Federation. You know that we had about 8 players that were sponsored by the Ministry of Sport, and of course other companies, Zamex and other companies came along to sponsor chess. So in a nutshell, this tournament was important because, one, we allowed young players from the age of 8 to 18 to participate.
As for netballers, the senior women's team was crowned African champions after beating Namibia in a tightly contested final.
The history of netball in Zambia, which is a huge achievement for us. And we are going into 2024, I think, with more focused goals that we need to achieve again in 2024. Because having won the 3 awards, the silver, the bronze, and the gold now, it's not time for us to sit down and just relax. I think it's a time for us to even work harder because we have the 2027 World Cup that is coming. So we start planning now for the 2027 World Cup. And also we have the 2025 Youth World Cup in Gibraltar. And next year we'll be having the same qualifiers for the under 21, which will be hosted by South Africa.
The Ministry of Youth, Sport and Arts Permanent Secretary Kangwa Chileshe has reaffirmed government's commitment to ensuring that all sports disciplines are accorded a fair share of support and attention for them to thrive. Audrey Kalenga, Zanis Sports, Lusaka.
Audrey Kalenga's report brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, let's take another look at the headlines. 5 cholera deaths have been recorded in the last 24 hours as cases rise. Maternal deaths are on the rise in Northwestern Province. The Zambia Development Agency has recorded an increase in investments, and the supply of essential drugs in health facilities in Eastern Province has improved. Thank you so much for watching the news. On behalf of the entire news production crew, my name is Henry Himonde. Until next time, it's goodbye.